Hello and welcome to another Dragon Ball FighterZ video. Today, TGN Anime presents a character profile for Bardock. Goku's father is a very accessible character with a huge combo potential. He's got decent mix-up, but he's also got a big weakness, which is fighting from a distance. When it comes to projectiles, there's not much you can do with Bardock. But let's start by highlighting a couple of his normals that really stand out, starting with his medium attack while in the air. Similar to Frieza, one button press of the medium attack button throws 2 attacks, 2 kicks, and this is something you want to keep in mind to maximize your combo damage. Also, an unusual normal that he has is the special attack button, which throws a single ki blast, a single one whether you're on the ground or in the air, and I'm highlighting this one not because it's particularly useful. On the contrary, this is a pretty weak ranged attack, and on top of that, outside of his supers, this is his only option while attacking from a distance, which is why he's not a really good ranged character. If you manage to catch an opponent with this, you can vanish and take that into a full combo like most characters in the roster, but since it's a single ki blast, it's not gonna be easy catching most opponents from a distance. Moving on to his special attacks, let's start with the Tyrant Lancer with quarter circle forward and the special button. Bardock will first punch, and if he connects, he'll blast the enemy into a wall bounce. You can hold down the special button to charge this attack, which will delay it a little and deal a bit of extra damage. Bardock can only perform this move while on the ground, and despite the long startup animation, there's really no armor in this move. It is fully blockable from standing or crouching position. Catching an opponent with this is not going to be easy without the use of an assist, but if you do catch someone, there's some combo potential from here, especially if you hold down the special button because it causes a bigger wall bounce. Next, we have his Rebellion Spear with quarter circle forward and an attack button. Bardock lunges forward and punches the opponent, and this works both on the ground or in the air. The light attack version is really fast, and you can easily do this multiple times. You can use this to move your character while in the air, so don't just think of this move as an attack. You need all the mobility you can get with Bardock to get in close to the opponent, since Bardock doesn't have a lot from range. And this is also Bardock's move as an assist. It's a bit similar to Yamcha's assist move if you're used to Yamcha. The medium attack version is different in the air or on the ground. From the ground, Bardock throws this uppercut move that sends the opponent flying, and then from the air he lunges downwards a bit like a dive kick style of move. The heavy attack version costs a bar of meter, but it's just as fast as the light attack version and covers the entire screen. Plus, if you land this move, you can press another button to follow up, and this follow up is basically the medium attack version. So if you're on the ground, you'll do the uppercut, and if you're in the air, you'll do the dive kick. Finally, Bardock's last special move is the Raging Meteor with quarter circle backwards and an attack button. This one also works both on the ground or in the air. Bardock spins, hitting the opponent with his fists, finishing with a heavy blow. It's important to note that you can block most of this move while crouching, but you have to be standing up to block the very last hit, because the last hit is actually an overhead attack, just like Cell's Rolling Crush. The first attacks are medium, so they can be blocked in either position, but you have to stand up for the last hit. The medium and heavy attack versions will put the opponent into a hard knockdown state. However, in the air, the medium attack version needs a launcher for it to cause a hard knockdown. If you've got a wall bounce in your combo, or you just started it from a super dash and didn't do the launcher, it will not put the opponent into a hard knockdown. For that, you're gonna need the heavy attack version. Moving on to his supers, Bardock's got 3 of them, 2 level 1 supers and a level 3, and all of them can be performed while on the ground or in the air. Up first is the Riot Javelin with quarter circle forward and the right bumper. It's a ki blast that travels through the entire screen. You can also be shot diagonally up or down if you use the D-pad to direct your blast. His second level 1 is Saiyan Spirit with quarter circle forward and the right trigger. Bardock lunges forward. It doesn't cover the entire screen, but it's got some decent range. This one is always horizontal, cannot be directed like the previous super, and if it hits, Bardock will punch the opponent into the wall. During the animation, you can choose to extend the super with the right bumper, and Bardock will throw the Riot Javelin. Yes, you can direct the javelin if you want to, but it's usually a bad idea. Finally, his level 3 is the Revenge Assault with quarter circle backwards and the right bumper or trigger. Bardock lunges forward once again. This time he covers the entire screen, and if he connects, he will do this whole animation. This lunge is always horizontal, and once again, he can do this while on the ground or in the air. As far as auto combos go, when you mash the light attack button, he does this. This auto combo is actually pretty good for Bardock to catch opponents coming from wall bounces in the corner or to extend a vanish combo, so keep this in mind when playing him. And then when you mash the medium attack button, he does this. And now that we know his moves, here are some tips on how to use them. So Bardock needs to get in close to be effective. His only ranged option outside of supers, of course, is that single lonely ki blast with the special attack button. And that's not gonna catch a lot of people off guard. Luckily, he's pretty mobile with a few of his special moves, particularly the Rebellion Spear. It works while on the ground, it works while in the air. Yes, it can be punished if the opponent blocks it, but hey, that's what assists are for. So game plan number 1 with Bardock is get in close. Otherwise, there's not much he can do. Now, once he gets in close, he's got a few few options you can work with. First, most of his normals are pretty standard, so you'll have no problem transferring your skills from another character over to Bardock because it's really easy to combo with him. And that means you'll be dealing some damage once you open up your opponent very naturally without having to worry too much about practical combos and stuff like that, because all the stuff we're used to doing at this point, it just works with Bardock. Especially because most of his specials and all of his supers work anywhere on stage. Ground or air doesn't really matter for Bardock, he's very versatile, so kinda no matter where you catch your opponent, you'll be able to deal some good damage. Now, to open up your opponent, Bardock has a couple of good options for high-low mix-up and also some left-right mix-up as well. He might not be the best in the game at doing this style of mix-up play, but he's very good for sure. First of all, the Raging Meteor ends in an overhead attack. That's an easy way to throw an overhead into your block string as you apply pressure to your opponent. But with time, players will learn to react to that attack, and that's when you have to step up your game with the Rebellion Spear. First of all, if the opponent blocks the heavy attack version of the Rebellion Spear, you will still cross up to their back. So if you use an assist to cover the frames while you're vulnerable, you'll be on the other side and then you can do whatever. And then we have the medium attack version, the uppercut move that puts Bardock in the air, and it actually crosses up to the opponent's back, assuming the opponent isn't Broly or some huge dude like that. And from here you can do a simple attack, and that's already an overhead cross up. You can backdash, crossing up an extra time. You can simply fake this move and go for a low attack. The mix-up potential is there, though it's also important to know that this is not a very safe thing to do, because it's an aerial attack. You'll be vulnerable to a down heavy, but again, that's what assists are for. Finally, we didn't talk much about his Tyrant Lancer, and that's because it's really not the easiest thing to land. It's got a long wind-up animation, and its usefulness is gonna highly vary depending on your assists. But if you do land it, especially the charged version, it deals some decent damage. So get some lab time, use Bardock with different assists, see if you can include this in some combos. If you want to get started, Vegeta's always great for these types of things, but otherwise, check if your favorite characters can work with Bardock here. Thank you for watching another character breakdown. Bardock is super fun to play, and I hope you guys got some ideas from this video. Our last breakdown was on Nappa a few months ago, but you can check out every single character by clicking the playlist up there. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom, but as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.